over the top of the head as well. Top of the head. What? Hang on a sec. Can you get that nose? Hi.
Hi. Okay. Hello, I'm Coco, and I'm a reporter for Good Be Kids. How are you today, Roshan Ramnarain?
I'm well, thank you. I'm Roshan or Rosh, and I'm the CEO from Energy Matters. You may have seen me in TV shows such as Open Homes Australia, Renovate or Rebuild, all OK shows, but Energy Matters, Global Energy Revolution, and coming soon, Everyday Energy Heroes. Just a couple pieces of my work.
Anything else to add?
Look, to be honest, there's quite a lot more to add, but you know, this is your show, not mine, so the floor is yours.
All right. Okay. Since you've just named every single thing you've ever done, okay, how dare I offend you? Tell me about Energy Matters. What is your actual company doing?
Look, Energy Matters, I mean, this could take a while, but to summarise, Energy Matters is like the nucleus of the renewable energy industry. So we've been around for just over 20 years. Effectively, we're a very comprehensive website that essentially educates consumers on the latest and greatest renewable energy technology coming to Australia, as well as energy efficiency, sustainability, and really anything that's happening in Australia and around the world to reduce carbon and helpfully combat the climate change as a result of global warming. We're also there to help promote manufacturers and technology providers and service providers, to really show, give them the stage to show what they're up to and what their talents are, what their technology is doing. Everything changes at a rapid pace. So really for us, we really want to explore this great technology, these awesome services that are here to help the planet. And then as Energy Matters used to be a solar power retailer, and I have to say between 2005 to 2019, when we were a retailer installer, we were pretty much, if not number one, in the top three. We have a close affinity to solar power retailers and installers. So any consumer inquiries that come through our website, and people are actually engaged, interested, and really want to explore getting renewables for their home or for their business and make an inquiry, we connect those consumers to installers and retailers all around the country. So although we don't install ourselves, it's a great, we know a lot of these guys, a lot of them work for us over the years when we were in that particular sort of realm. So for us, connecting those guys with consumers is great. They're onto it. They're the next gen, in this industry. They're probably way better than we ever were as an installer, purely because they've refined their methodologies, great training, great resources, and now we have incredible technology. So for those guys, they do an amazing job and can literally service anywhere around Australia, including Kakadu.
Where?
I don't know, just came to me, Kakadu.
Kakadu.
What's that place that's underground that's kind of like, reminds you of Tatooine and Star Wars? It's in South Australia. Anyway, we actually had a lead from there. Actually chatting to a client yesterday, we were getting a lead in Broken Hill. Have you heard of Broken Hill? New South Wales, like the furthest west into New South Wales. And about 4 or 5 weeks in a row, we're getting a series of leads from those guys. Anyway, we service anywhere. And that place I was talking about, looks like Tatooine, is Cooper Pedy. Cooper Pedy. We get leads in Cooper Pedy.
I'm pretty sure you're not saying that right.
I don't know if I am or not, no.
Okay, well.
Sorry.
Cuba.
Petey, sorry, I think high. All right, carry on. Sorry.
Okay, on with my next question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Why is renewable energy so important?
Look, I think why is renewable energy so important? It's a very broad and large question in respect to the fact that, it can be answered in many ways. The way I look at it is fundamentally this planet requires, and everyone on this planet requires energy to progress, to survive. We went through a process in the 1900s and into the 21st century, the 2000s, where the Industrial Revolution happened. We needed a lot of power to power growth, to really get us from where we wanted to where we wanted to get to build cars, factories, manufacturing processes, all this kind of stuff. And if it wasn't for access to fossil fuels, being coal and oil, we would have never made the progress we made. Unfortunately, with such heavy energy demands that we had then, and now with the emergence of technology like artificial intelligence, data centers, cryptocurrency, these things suck up power. Our energy requirements are so much higher. Now, the issue we have on this planet and potentially other planets in the universe, don't know how they've dealt with it, is when you take all fossil fuels out of the ground and burn them, burning those fossil fuels creates carbon. And there's nothing wrong with carbon. It's actually, helps grow. It helps living things grow, right? So it has a benefit. But the problem is when there's too much carbon, it warms the planet up at a rapid pace, and a pace the planet isn't used to. And the planet's fine with getting warmed up, but when it's warming up and accelerating really, really quickly, the counterpart to that is there's a lot more heat coming onto the planet. And if there's a lot more heat coming onto the planet, it means things are gonna either die or melt, like ice caps melt, which means effectively, we're going to have rising sea levels. The other thing that happens with, with an increase in carbon and global warming is it kind of changes weather patterns. Because if you think about all the oceans and the currents and the different weather systems that we have in the atmosphere, those things are related to like temperature and also to the amount of water and precipitation and various other factors that are impacted by climate. So when you suddenly start increasing that, you start getting these really random weather patterns and cycles that never were meant to happen, and things start accelerating at a pace that we're not ready for. So fundamentally, climate change is going to happen, and it always was going to happen, but now it's happening a lot quicker than it was supposed to. So why is renewable energy important now? I've just waffled on for like the last 10 minutes about climate change.
As you have?
Yeah, as I have. Is it's an opportunity to still grow at the pace we want to grow at technology-wise, but have all that electricity, all that energy come from a renewable energy source, which means we're not putting more carbon into the atmosphere. We can work on that as a separate issue, and alongside that, all of our energy demands can be met with wind, with hydro, with solar, geothermal, even like hydrogen, and to an extent even nuclear. So although nuclear is something that a lot of people frown upon, in the right environment, it's a really great energy source. It's clean energy. So fundamentally, I think it's just obviously not right for a population of 25 million. That's expanded all around the ship on the biggest continents on the planet. But for the right continents, it's actually good. So I think renewable energy is so important because it gives us a clean form of energy that's scalable, that can power the entire planet, as long as all the powers that be make their investment themselves, empower homeowners, business owners, everybody to to be able to get involved in their own capacity based on their own budgets and situations, and it's a game we can all play together.
Very nice.
Thank you. I'll have some water now because my mouth's quite dry after that response. It's probably about 12 minutes, wasn't it?
I wonder why. Okay, while you're taking your very small sip of water.
I don't need big gulps.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Why do you make TV shows talking about clean energy?
Because I'm not very patient, is the truth. So with Energy Matters, we're fortunate with the business has been going for over 21 years. Amazing people founded it. They're really switched on ahead of their time in terms of digital marketing, writing content, SEO. So we used to have over 100, 120, 150,000 people a month, unique viewers finding our website every single month. And over time, that's come down as a result of Google algorithm changes, and don't get me started on Google because it's not a very positive conversation. But fundamentally, we got stitched up, as in many other massive websites around the world. So our traffic gets slower and slower unless you pay money on advertising. Google, you should be ashamed of yourself. So really for TV, with what we do, we're very much a cause-driven business. So since we've been at the helm since 2020, myself, my team, which includes Nicole, who's my 2IC, you couldn't do anything without her. She's amazing. And other team members as well, and amazing clients, by the way, as well, including Goodwee, who awesome, John, amazing. Anyway, so why TV? Well, fundamentally, the goal of Energy Matters is to encourage and inspire millions of people to have a look at what they can do. It doesn't have to be massive. It could just be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to start recycling. Or you know what, rather than using paper, I'm just going to use digital. Or I'm just going to look when I go shopping, I'm just going to check the back of the packaging before I buy something and see if it came from if it's been recycled, it's recycled packaging, and whether or not I can recycle it. So small steps all the way down to, can I put solar panels on my roof, get battery storage, get an EV chargers, soup up my office so people can drive EVs to it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff everyone can do. But what we aim to do and what we exist for Energy Matters is to inspire people to have a look at what they can do and then make as big a change or do what they can do. It doesn't we don't force feed anyone to do anything. It's up to them. We just want to educate them. And for that to happen, we need to reach large audiences. So with our website, we probably still reach between 50 to 75,000 people a month. We have over 200,000 subscribers to our weekly newsletter, which is amazing.
Wow.
But for me, it's kind of like, well, that's amazing, but it's not enough. And what we really want to do is inspire hundreds of thousands of people a week and show them, because it's great reading about stuff, but we wanted to show people how this technology looks so they can imagine how it looks in their own home, in their own business, how it actually works, how simple it really is, because there's a lot of misconception out there around, solar panels used to be ugly, like horrible. Your mum would have never allowed us to put solar panels on a roof 20 years ago because they're disgusting. Inverters looked horrible, just these bricks, right? There was no batteries. Some inverters made noise. So some of them still do make noises. But the reality was, the technology wasn't what it was today. So fundamentally, what we want TV shows to do is really show people how the tech looks, how it works, live experiences, people who are actually using that technology and the experiences they're having, have their bills actually gone down? We don't stitch, we don't, film people and say, please say specific answers. We're like, you tell us your experience and we'll put on TV if you're happy with it. And that's what we do. So really it just shows the variances in brands. We're also brand agnostic, so we don't really favor any one specific brand. We just love all the people that are involved in this industry, as long as their technology is genuine and they have customer service, it passes all the tests, and ideally we've seen it being manufactured, but not all the time we can do that. We're happy to support and promote any type of technology partners out there, and really the TV shows gets us to do that. So to answer your question in a really long way as always, like I normally do. And the short answer is to reach larger audiences, to inspire people, and for them to see what's possible, and then they can make their own choice as to whether or not that's for them. And if it is, great, we can kind of like connect them to different stores and retailers around the country who can quote them on that tech.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna challenge you to do something pretty special this time.
Do I have to build something out of Lego?
No, the goal is for you to do the short answer.
Wow, good luck for that.
I know. First off, okay? So my question for you is, what gives you hope for Australia's future?
You do.
Oh. Okay, that was the shortest. Okay, the second shortest answer.
Okay, so you want me to add extra words? What gives me hope is that there is organisations like GoodWe that have programs like the Eco Smart Kids, which you're obviously a roving reporter for.
Love Eco Smart Kids.
Yeah, and what it shows and what I've seen as a result of that program as an example is how kids who have not really learned anything properly at school about renewable energy, sustainability, global warming, climate change are really embracing it. And I know for a fact that even my mates don't really think a lot of it. It's like, yeah, whatever, she'll be all right. It's not, there's nothing I can worry about. It's going to happen outside my lifespan. But what they seem to forget is they've all got kids, and those kids are probably going to have kids, and we have a responsibility to do something, no matter how small it is, whilst we're on this planet, which is how I think about it. So, but what gives me hope is when you see those little faces really embrace, the basic education and think, apologies, I'm not that. Am I allowed to swear on this show?
No.
Okay. Beep. But what gives me hope is when I see what their ideas and see what they've come up with, and different technologies, innovations, just based upon the small amount of things that they've learned in about half an hour, and then their minds explode. That's incredible. And that's where all this innovation has ever come from, is from a person having a small idea, but really caring about something. So it's the passion, the conviction, and then the idea combined. And even if they share that idea in an environment where other people have got the means, have got the capital, have got the Elon Musks in the world, or the Richard Bransons, and those guys are like, that's a really good idea.
Shorter answer.
Yeah, would you like $1 billion? Sorry, that's kind of short. Well, tell me to do it longer. Anyway, that's what gives me hope. The next generation, your generation, and the kids after you.
Okay. What's the biggest thing kids can do to help the planet?
Have a really, really tough conversation with their parents and say, Mum, Dad, stop being a tight ass. You know. No, the best thing they can do really is just to be aware, educate themselves, understand, what's happening, and speak out. Like, and if you see someone chucking litter on the floor, mate, recycle that, put that in the bin. If there's an opportunity to get renewable energy technology for the home and it's within the budget and it's not going to be, negatively impact the financial means of that family, then stand up for it and say, Mum, Dad, I think we should look at getting a battery. I think we should consider getting an EV. I think I should, go back to pedaling my bike because, e-mobility is crazy. But, when I'm 16, I definitely want to be e-mobile. So I think there's opportunities to really encourage the right behaviour. And I think it's like anything. It's like if you look at how in this last 3 or 4 years, people have really stepped up and voiced for, racism, for, sexuality, for diversity, inclusion. Those things have really become amazing and really incredible to watch. People have a voice and not tolerate stuff. Well, man, our planet is our home and we all live on it. Who's speaking out for the planet? Like, what did the planet do? Like, other than give us life and give us everything we could possibly want to have the best possible experience ever. And then we're just sabotaging our home. So, I think what kids need to do is just give voice.
Okay. I've got one last question for you.
Sure.
Actually, no, I've got two because this is just really quick, okay? What's it like having your amazing daughter as your co-host?
Look, how you just get your grade card, it's like A's and B's and C's, and there's those a comment, could do better.
No, I don't remember that. I just get A's and B's and A for behaviour,
whatever,
A for effort.
Whatever. No, look, you're incredible.
That's a screenplay, my report card for you guys.
Yeah, no, she's done well over the last couple of years, to be fair. Last couple of years, I should say, not before that. But no, it's amazing. I mean, you're incredible. You inspire me. You actually were doing media before I was. So I think most people think, thanks to you, Coco's got into media. No, you were doing TV and commercials and movies about 5 years before I even got involved and did anything.
Yeah.
So
I'm his inspiration.
She is my inspiration. I realised how easy it was looking at her. No, not at all. She inspired me.
Awesome. Okay, my last final question. If you could give one message to eco-smart kids, what would it be?
How long a message?
A really short 30-word message.
A quick message? Jesus. My message would be speak in smaller sentences, be succinct, it's probably more powerful. Just be passionate, be excited, be curious. Just really enjoy everything that's available to you. The planet we live on is incredible. And you've got amazing teachers, amazing friends, amazing parents.
Over 30.
I know. But just be curious and just have fun and work hard. And care about our planet.
Yeah.
Like, give it a few minutes a day. Just think about it.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you for coming on my show, Dad.
You're very welcome.
Amazing. Okay, have a great day, guys.
Peace out.